Right. I think we'll just start and let others drop in later. Welcome. If this is your first time practicing with me, make sure you have two blocks nearby or something similar. Can be two water bottles or two books. And it'll be always nice to have a blanket or a couch pillow for some cushioning through the practice. And once you get those props, you can come into Virasana Hero pose, sit in between your heels. A lot of us that can be a little bit too much that you can slide a block in between the heels, adjust the height to the medium height or lowest height. If the lowest height that does not give you enough height for you to sit steadily, you can stack two blocks together. And then rest your hands on top of your thighs. Cast your gaze down onto the ground. Release the shoulders away from the ears. Notice if there's any feelings, sensations rising at this point. And just leave those feelings and sensations be for now. And let the eyelids get heavy. And perhaps eventually close your eyes. And notice if the feelings and sensations you were um, noticing earlier, see what it's like now. Do they get strengthened? Or they're drifting away from you? Again, simply observe. No action needed. When you feel like your mind start getting busy with dealing with those feelings and sensations, if you can shift some of those attention to your breathing. If it helps, you can introduce a little bit counting to your breathing. Keep it freestyle, but I do suggest that making go with the direction of matching the length of your exhale with inhale, or even make it longer. The count can be audible, can be just you quietly counting in your mind. Whatever works the best for you. And continue to observe your body, especially the shoulders area, the neck area, see if it's tensing up. And see if there's any connection between shift of your feeling and sensation with the activities of your mind. Option 2, stay here in the seated meditation. And if you like to add a little bit more pranayama into your practice tonight, bring your right hand into Vishnu Mudra, meaning fist your right hand and release your right thumb and right pinky finger and ring finger. And press your right thumb to your right nostril and ring finger or right pinky to your left nostril. And gently close your nostrils, but not fully. So you leave a little bit gap. So just making our breathing a little bit more restricted, which is going to require a little bit more attention from us. But also as a symbol to help us to slow down for our practice. So intentionally breathing into the nostril slowly with a restriction. And exhale, release both hands and release everything out fully. And now hands back onto the nostril, breathing in slowly. And exhale, let everything out fully. And 6 times more like that on your own. When you're breathing in without restriction, notice that resistance and notice that urge to try to fix it. Not in a judgmental way, but simply being curious while this is happening. And after you're done with the next exhale, rest your right hand back to the top of the right thigh. One long inhale through both nostrils. Exhale everything smoothly out. And gather your hands in front of the heart. When you're ready, bow the head toward the heart and slowly blink open the eyes. And come into a table. So your wrists are right underneath your shoulders and your hips right above your knee joints. If you have a very thin mat, take your time to spread a blanket or something cushioning that underneath your knees. And find your blocks, bring your hands. I would say start with medium height first. You can adjust them later. And get comfortable in this table pose on the blocks first. You move through some cow and cat if you like to. Oh, and any other movement that wake up your body. And to start, we're gonna come into a child pose. Press the hips close to the sit bones. So your hands are on the blocks with a medium height. This is where you can come into adjustment. If you feel like your shoulders are over opening, you can bring your blocks to the lowest height and rest them, or fully ditch the blocks. And if you feel like your shoulders has more space to be open, you can also turn your blocks to the highest height. You just melt your chest toward the ground, rest your torso onto the top of the thighs. And then even though your right hand is not on your nostrils anymore, but still imagine it's still there blocking the nostrils, you're intentionally breathing in slowly. Each inhale, reach your hands forward and press into the blocks. And exhale, release the hips toward the heels. And start walk the blocks with your hands all the way to the left side. Let the right side body getting long. Imagine that block is the extension of your right arm reaching far away to the left side. In the meantime, focusing on pressing the right sit bone down. On the next exhale, start slowly walk the blocks back to the center. Before we move to the other side, take a long breath in. Next, you'll walk the blocks to the right side and reach the left arm long through the block. And what are some of the feelings rising up through this posture? Good, bad, or neutral? One long inhale, grow the left side body. The next exhale, start slowly walk yourself back to the center again. Long inhale. Round your upper back, come back into a table, or rather a cat pose. And exhale, drop your belly toward the ground, open the chest. So we're kind of in a seal pose. You can ditch the block or just hide the block as you need it, and we'll flow in between. Inhale, round your upper back and press into table and child. Rock forward, lower your pelvis, seal pose. Breathe slowly, just as if there's still fingers on top of your nostrils, restricting your breathing. And then match the pace of your movement to the breathing. So you can give yourself time and space to savor the feelings and the sensations that rising up through the flow, through the postures, if you decide to stay in one place. Next time when you're a child pose, walk the blocks closer to you and bring them by the side of your feet. Start with medium height or tallest height first. Reach up the left arm by the left ear and press the pelvis forward and kind of side bend to the right side. 3.5 camel. Keep some micro bend in your right elbow so you are not overextending your right arm. Keep pressing the pelvis forward. Imagine there's a block in between your knees and your thigh bones. It's squeezing into the block. Next, I'll release the hips down. We'll do the other side. Left hand on the block, right arm by the right ear. And press the pelvis up and side bend to the left side. Keep some micro bend in the left elbow. Inhale, reaching long through the right fingertips. Press the pelvis forward. Then exhale, release the hips down. And bring the blocks all the way to the front. Come back into the table. You can add more cow and cat if you like to. Walk your hands one handprint forward. And press your tailbones up. Keep a lot of bend in your legs first, since this is first down dog of the day. You can bend through one leg and another to invite some space in the back of the legs. You can also rock forward into a high plank if you're seeking for some strength training. And exhale, roll your tailbones back up into downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Once you're done with pedal through the legs or rocking forward or other flowy children, come back into downward facing dog. Roll your bicep forward. Make sure there's still spaciousness between your neck and your shoulders. And only if you achieved that, then you can start slowly release your heels toward the ground. If this is not a place that you can sit comfortably with your feelings, you can lower your knees down into a table or come back into a hero pose. With the next exhale, rock forward into a high plank or knee plank if you decide to release the knees down. We'll all release the knees down into a table. Adjust the position of hands if it's too far. Imagine there's a block in between your thigh bones again. Engage the center of you first. Neutralize your spine. So imagine you're doing cow and cat and having both qualities in that table. The chest opening, your spine lengthening. And extend your left leg long. And slowly bend your left knee. Press the left heel up toward the sky. Hug the right outer hip in so it's not collapsing to the right side. You can imagine your left heel is the stamp as trying to stamp on the ceiling to introduce a couple of pulses. And you stay at the highest point that you cannot go up anymore. Tuck your right toes and straighten your right leg. into a down dog split. Draw your left knee into the chest. And exhale, kick the left leg back, but keep the left heel up and keep pointing your left toes toward the ground. Inhale, draw the left knee into the chest. Exhale, kick the left heel back up. Last time. Left knee into the chest. And step your left foot in between the hands and release your right knee down into a low lunge Anjaneyasana. Hands on the ground or on the blocks. If you don't have any of those, you can rest your hands on top of your left thigh. Adjust the position of your right knee if you are seeking for some opening of your right thigh, the front of your right thigh. Bring the right knee behind your right thigh bone to get some stretch out there. If you're seeking for stability and strengthening of your right outer hip, bring your right knee to underneath your right hip and hug your thigh bones into each other. This is a familiar posture for most of you. See if it's a safer place for you to stay here with the feelings and sensations. The feelings does not necessarily have to be directly related to your practice today. It can be a feeling that you've been dealing with recently. And just give it space. Not fighting, not retreating. Just be with it. Inhale, raise up the arms. And clasp your hands with left pinky outside and bring the clasp behind the skull and open the elbows to the side. Continue to hug the thigh bones into the midline to stabilize yourself and side bend to the left side. Right elbow up and left elbow down. Stay with the wobbliness, and it's perfectly okay if you fall out of it. And come back to center. Hands on the ground or on the blocks. We do our usual flow. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, pin your hip back and straighten your left leg. Pull the left toes towards you. Half split. Inhale, bend into the left leg. Exhale, half split. Ardha Hanumanasana. 3 times more. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the left leg. Inhale, remember those fingers on your nostrils. Breathing in slowly. Next time when you are in half split, you can move the right block, stay where it is. You can also move it right underneath your right shoulder. Adjust the height of it as needed. And turn your chest to left side first, but keep your pelvis forward. An option to extend your left arm up. So if you feel like your right shoulder is hiking towards the right ear, then you probably should need to lower your block underneath your right hand. You can also fully ditch it. So you're not sacrificing the spaciousness in your chest. Keep pulling the left toes towards you. Pinning your left hip down. Next, so release your left hand down and bend back into your left leg. Right hand down and left hand up. Twist to the left side. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Next, revolve your ribs up toward the sky. Release your left hand down. Tuck your back toes and step your right knee with the left. Inhale, hands on the blocks or on the shin. Lengthen the spines, flat back. Exhale, fold over the legs. Once more like that. Inhale. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold over and rise on empty. Exhale, hand through heart center. Tadasana. Engage both sides of the outer hips in and pull your knees towards your pelvis. Engage the front of the quads. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, side bend to the left side. And start slowly turn your chest toward the ground. The whole lower body stay the same. Inhale, open the chest back to the front and rise up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Start slowly turn your chest toward the ground. The left shoulder toward the front. Exhale, start slowly come back to center. And squeeze the shoulder blades together. Cactus the arms, puff the chest up. Find some back bend in your Tadasana. And rise up. And fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Exhale, step your left and right into a high plank. Option to release the knees down into a knee plank. Take a long inhale. Exhale, bend through the elbows, keep hugging the elbows in. Release all the way down to the belly. Inhale, lift the chest up, Bhujangasana. Exhale, release down. And second round, you can do a lot of things that you'd like to. You can come back into Bhujangasana. You can straighten the arms into downward facing dog. You can also just stay in Bhujangasana, but float up your palms. And you can also reach your hands toward the back into a locust pose, Shalabhasana. Where you are, stay there for 3 rounds of breath. And release all the way down. Hands by the chest. Move to a table or high plank. We all meet in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. When you're ready to flow on the other side again, rock forward and release the knees down into table. Reconnect with your breath if you lost that connection somewhere. Reconnect with the center of you. Make sure the spaciousness is still there in your chest, in your collarbones. Hug the left outer hip in, and when you're ready, extend your right leg long. And slowly bend your right knee and press the right heel up toward the sky. You might have to shift more weight into the right hand. Imagine you're stamping that right heel onto the ceiling and pulse it up until you find the highest point you can stay without sacrificing the rest of you. Without sacrificing the space you need to Sit with your feelings. And tuck your back toes and straighten your left leg. Down dog split. Inhale, draw the right knee into the chest. Exhale, kick the right heel back up. Inhale, right knee into the chest. Exhale, right heel back up. This whole time, make sure you're hugging the thigh bones towards each other and your right toe still pointing toward the ground. Inhale. And exhale, last time, kick back up. And draw the right knee into the chest, and this time, lightly step it in between the hands and release your left knee down. So you know the drill on this side. You can choose to be in stable, more box-like shape. You can also make sure that your left knee is behind your left thigh bone for some quad stretch. Hands on the blocks or on top of the right thighs. Raise up the arms by the ears. Interlace your hands with your right pinky outside. Bring the palms behind the head. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. And exhale, side bend to the right side. Left elbow up, right elbow down. Keep hugging the thigh bones into each other for a steady foundation. And raise all the way back up. And hands down on the ground or on the floor, or on the blocks rather. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Pull the right toes towards you. Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, bend back in the right leg. Exhale, straighten the right. Flow like that 3 more times. With a slow inhale. And through the summer, we talked about how we tend to move too fast, grasp too much, and try to do much. Now, even though it's kind of in the fall season, but with the heat still there during the day, next time when you're in half split, move the blocks underneath your left shoulder. Bring your right hand on your right hip first and turn your chest to the right side. Option to raise up the right arm. So fall season is another trap, another time that's kind of setting a trap for overexerting ourselves because of the cooling down and the weather is still nice. So introducing that restriction on our inhale reminds us to slow down a little bit. Bring that quality into our breathing and our movement. And hopefully you bring that off the mat with you with other aspects of your life. Release your right hand down, bend back into the right leg, left hand on the ground, and right hand up. Inhale, reaching to the front, to the crown of the head. Exhale, revolve through the spine and turn your chest up. Right hand down. Touch your back toes and step your left meet with the right. And fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. We'll do something different on this side. Keep your hips kind of sitting on a chair. Imagine there's a chair behind you. Hands on the ground or on the blocks. Make sure your knees are not passing your big toes so you can still see your big toes. You can stay in the supported chair. You can also raise up the arms by the ears. Uttanasana chair pose. Stay 3 cycles of breath here and see if you can still include the restricted qualities of your inhale rather than rushing out of this posture simply because it's making you a bit uncomfortable. Especially knowing if you fall out of the pose, the ground is not that far away from you. So what else is pressuring you to get out? And last exhale, fold over the legs. You can shake your legs side to side, your hips side to side. And rise all the way up. And through heart center. By the side, Tadasana. Engage the front of the legs, the outer hips. You can cast your gaze down on the ground again, or even fully close eyes. We do an intentional Tadasana first before we start moving again. What was it like to stay in this chair pose for 3 cycles of breath? Sit with that feeling, that sensation, even though you are out of that posture now, what is like for you? Good news, we have more chair pose coming. So we'll flow through some Surya Namaskar B today, and I'll guide you through the first round on each side before I send you to be on your own. And to start, sit into a chair on the inhale. Now exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, step left and right back into a high plank, hands down. Option to release the knees down. And here you can choose a lot of format of back bend. You can release all the way down to your belly, Bhujangasana, or halfway, and into upward facing dog. You can also come up into a table and do a cow pose. You can also do a baby camel pose as we did at the beginning of the class with the blocks by your side and press your pelvis up. So it's the whole world is your oyster. So choose one back bend that works the best for you tonight. And we all meet in downward facing dog as the exhale. Step your left foot to the left thumb, spin down your right heel, bend into your left leg, raise up the arms by the ears and come all the way up into Warrior One. Reaching high through the fingertips. And exhale, hands down, step your left foot back, bend through the elbows. Move into back bend of your choice. And exhale, we all meet in downward facing dog. Step your right foot to your right thumb, spin on your left heel, rise up into a Warrior One. Imagine someone is stepping onto the pinky edge of the left foot. Now exhale, both hands down. Move to vinyasa of your choice with the back bent. Now exhale, downward facing dog. 3 to 5 rounds of breath here. You can choose to come into a child pose with your hands on the blocks as well. On the bottom of the next exhale, step by step, a hop forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, sit into chair. Rise up. Hand to heart center. That's one round. Actually, let's do one more round together. Inhale, sit in the chair. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step right and left. Bend to the elbows, move to back bend of your choice. And exhale, we all meet downward facing dog. Step your left foot to your left arm. Spin down your right heel. Rise up into Rabajasana 1. Hands down. Step your left foot back. Bend to the elbows. Back bend of your choice on the inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Step the right foot to the right thumb. Spin down your left heel. Rise up. Warrior 1. And hands down. Step your right foot back. Vinyasa of your choice. And exhale, press the tailbones up. 3 to 5 rounds of breath here, so you can give yourself enough space and time to pause, to reflect, and to grow. Step by step, a hop forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, sit into chair. Exhale, rise all the way up and to heart center by the side. One more round on your own, and to not imposing my cueing and my pacing onto you. So I'll stay quiet, but just imagine you're still breathing like the fingers is on your nostrils. You're savoring each moment of your flow. You're savoring all the feelings that around your flow. If you're still floating, take your time. If you arrived at the front of the mat early, you can come back into an intentional Tadasana again. And if your blocks are not at the front of the mat anymore, gather them back to in front of you. And we'll all meet at the front of the mat with the block the highest way. And hands on the blocks about shoulders distance. Bring the hand onto the blocks, so kind of like in a high table. Have the left outer hip in. Keep some micro bend in your elbows. And then kick the right leg back into a supporting warrior 3. So point your right toes towards the ground. That means you might have to spin down your right hip a little bit, so you're not opening towards half moon. And lengthen to the spine, reaching forward through the crown of the head, reaching back through the right heel. Then start slowly bend your right knee and press the right heel up. It might not even be that obvious, but you're doing all those work. Hugging the thigh bones toward the midline. Exhale, bend into left leg and step your right foot back into a runner's lunge. Hands still on the blocks. Take a long inhale, spread the collarbones. Exhale, straighten the legs. Pyramid. Inhale, runner's lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Last time like that. Inhale, runner's lunge, bend into the left leg. Exhale, straighten both legs. Then step your right foot slightly in and fully fold toward the left leg into pyramid. Bend into your left leg. Right hand down. Left hand up. Simple twist. Release your left hand down and walk yourself to the right side. Parallel your feet and fold over the legs. Bring the blocks close to you if you need the blocks to catch the weight of your forehead or your hand. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Right hand on the ground and left hand up. Chest still facing toward the ground. And release the left hand down and raise up your right arm. And release your right hand down and walk yourself back to the front and step your left foot back into a high plank. Come down onto your left elbow and right elbow. Forearm plank. Option to release the knees down. Then we all release our pelvis onto the floor. Pull the elbows towards you and press the chest forward. Sphinx pose. You can stay in the Sphinx pose, this gentle back bend if you like to. Bend your left knee, pull the left foot closer to you, and reach back with the left hand and grab the left ankle with the left hand and kick the left foot away from you and press your left chest toward the front, but keep some micro bend in your left elbow. Without a slingshot, slowly release the bind. Release left arm down, come into Sphinx pose first. Then we do the other side. Pull your right toes towards you. And reach your right hand toward the back and grab the right ankle with the right hand. And kick the right foot away from you. And keep some micro bend in the right elbow. So creating a half bow here. And release the bind slowly with control. Rest your left hand on top of the right and rest your forehead on the top. And just release all the tensions that you got built up. Just let yourself fall into the mat, fall into the ground. You can also add some swing side to side of your knees, your legs. And when you're ready, bring your hands by your chest. Come into downward facing dog. Step by step, walk many steps to the front. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Exhale, follow the legs. Uttanasana on the inhale, chair pose. Exhale, rise up. And find the blocks. And we'll do the other side. Turn the blocks to the highest height. Create your high table first. Your hands right underneath your shoulders. Some micro bend in your elbows. Hug your right outer hip in. Then extend your left leg back. Point your left toes toward the ground. Lengthen to the spine, lengthen the space at the left front hip. And then bend to the left leg and press the left heel up. Then lightly step your left foot back down into runner's lunge. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, straighten both legs, fold over the right leg. Inhale, runner's lunge, bend into the right leg. Exhale, pyramid pose. Last time. Exhale, pyramid pose. This time, step your left foot slightly in and fold fully over the right leg. Then bend into your right leg. Left hand down, right hand up. Simple twist. Release your right hand down and walk yourself to the left side with the blocks if you know you're going to need them. Parallel the feet and fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Next, walk your hands to the left ankle. You can stay here. You can also grab your left ankle with your right hand and pull your right elbow towards the ground. Option 2, raise up your left arm. Twist to the left side. Release back to center. Walk your hands to the right side. Option to grab your right ankle with the left hand and pull your left elbow toward the ground. An option to raise up your right arm. Release your right hand down. And walk yourself all the way to the front. Step your right foot back into a high plank. Release onto your right elbow and left elbow. One long breath in here. And exhale, release your pelvis down. Pull your elbows towards you and push your chest forward, Sphinx pose. This is where you can stay. Option 2, pull your right foot closer to you. We're gonna do a little bit spice on it. Instead of right hand, this time, reach back with the left hand. Grab the right ankle with the left hand. And of course, if it's not accessible to you, you can always try the other hand. And kick the right foot back. It's gonna lift up your left shoulder, but keep pressing your left shoulder toward the front. Option 2, lift your right elbow off the ground. But continue to reach toward the back through the feet and reach your chest forward so you're not compressing the space in your low back. Lower your right elbow down, release the bind. We'll do the other side. Pull the left foot in and reach back with the right hand. Grab the left ankle with the right hand and kick the left foot back, which is going to lift up your right shoulder. Option 2, lift up your left elbow as well. Release your left elbow down. Release your right elbow down. Stack your right hand on top of your lap and rest your forehead on the top. Just take a moment to rest. You've done a lot of back bending for the day, but my last offering is for bow pose, Dhanurasana. So if you'd like to give it a try, bend both knees and reach your hands back and grab the ankle with the hands. Make sure you're squeezing your knees towards each other first. Some people find it's easier for them to flex the feet. It not necessarily make any difference for me, but you can try both to see if it's easier for you. And lift your knees up. Your knees might tend to split open. Imagine there's still a block in between your thigh bones and your knees, and squeeze into that block. Now on the exhale, release everything down to the ground. Stack the hands on top of each other. And windshield wiper your legs side to side. And flip yourself around like a pancake. So you're on your back. Bring the soles of the feet together and then the knees drape open. Supta Baddha Konasana. Option to glide a block under each thigh. Make it a little bit more supportive. Let this posture be the bridge for you to transition and to slow down. We're going to do a little bit of figure four to open up the outer hip. So we'll cross the right foot, right ankle over the left knee and use your right hand to gently press the right inner thigh to guide it to open to the right side. And step your right foot down to the left side and catches your right arm. And turn your gaze to the right side into a twist. You can use your left hand this time to gently press the right thigh open. And slowly come back to center. Feed your right arm through the window. And place your hands with the left pinky outside. And pull the legs towards the chest. While keep your tailbone close to the ground. Use your right elbow to open the right knee. And release everything. Step your right foot down. Knock your knees together for a moment. We'll do the other side. Cross your left ankle over the right knee. Use the left hand gently press your left thigh open. And release Release your left foot to the right side. Cactus the left arm. Gaze to the left side. You can use your right hand to be on your left inner thigh this time and guide it to continue to be open. And come back to center. Feed your left arm to the window. Interlace your hands with the right pinky outside. And pull your legs towards the chest. Open the left arm. Release everything back to the ground. Step your left foot down. Rock your knees together. If there's any other shapes you like to include in your practice before we close, please go for it. And once you're ready, spread your arms, your legs open. Shavasana. If you're ready to come out of your Shavasana, you can start wiggling your toes and fingertips. And gently sway your neck side to side. And roll on to one side. And come all the way up into a comfortable seat. I'm going to do 3 cycles of long breath together to close today's practice. Take a long breath in. Exhale, slowly release everything out. Inhale with intention of slowing down. Exhale smoothly, everything being released. Last time. And gather your hands in front of the heart. Bow the head toward the heart. Whenever you're ready, slowly blink open eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me tonight. I actually have to cancel my class in 2 weeks due to travel, but I'll see you in 4 weeks.